Okay, so you don't have a boundary problem. Surprise! I got my little fidget toy. Shout out to my homie Kit. You have, once again, a nervous system that learned a minute ago that disappointing people could be dangerous. And there's no script, there's no I statement, no perfectly worded text you can draft for 40 minutes that's going to fix that because you cannot communicate your way out of a survival response. I'm sorry. Quickly, I'm Vicky, at it again. I coach late diagnosed ADHD women through the messy middle of transformation. Last week, we got into the story, the yes that broke my client and the no that saved her ass. Okay. If you missed it, go back. This one builds on that. Hopefully, I'll put it here somewhere. Don't hold me to it. So, today is the why, the mechanism underneath all of it. Because if last week possibly made you go, yeah, that is me, and you still have no idea how to actually shift or change any of that, this is going to be the missing piece. So, we're talking about fawning, what it actually is, why every boundary book on the planet has been failing you. And what it actually takes to hold the line. Okay. So you probably heard of fight, flight, and freeze. There is a fourth, which is called fawn. And fawn is when your nervous system decides the safest way through a threat is to make the threat like you by appeasing, by accommodating, by becoming so helpful and agreeable that nobody has a reason to come for you. Let me change this so you don't hear that little sound in the background. Many of us ADHD ladies learn super early that our natural wiring got us in trouble. We're too much, we're too loud, too forgetful, too sensitive, too late, again, too many twos. You know what I'm talking about. So, somewhere in there, your system figured out a workaround. If I'm easy, if I'm useful, if I never need anything, I get to stay. I'll belong, I'll be safe. That is all not a fatal flaw. That is a majestic adaptation by a kid who needed to belong. That's hierarchy of needs. The problem is that the kid grew up and the strategy never got the memo that the danger's over. So now you're 38 and you cannot say no to a brunch you don't want to attend without your heart going feral and having a billion justifications as to why you cannot, instead of no being a full sentence. Open many a boundary book, and the advice is some version of just say no, use I statements, here's a script to use. And all this advice assumes that the problem is that you do not know how, that you have a knowledge gap, that you have a vocabulary problem. You just need the right words. But we often know the words. You could probably write a graduate thesis on them words, on healthy boundaries. You've sent your friends the carousel posts. Come on. The words have never been the issue. So here's what's real. The second that you hold the boundary, your nervous system reads it as a threat to your safety. Your body floods with cortisol or adrenaline or both. The rejection sensitivity kicks in. And for most, it's not just a feeling, it's a full body event. And once your survival system is online, it overrides the prefrontal cortex. The system overrides the script every time. You didn't forget the words. Your body decided the words were too expensive. So when someone hands you a boundary script and it doesn't work, you don't conclude that the advice was incomplete. You tend to conclude that you are broken. And the truth is, you are not that. You were handed a communication solution for a regulation problem once again. Okay, quick pause. If you're listening to this and going, yeah, but which survival pattern is mine? I built something for you with that. It is a free quiz. It's called Adventuring with ADHD. Takes 2 or 3 minutes. It supports you in seeing the specific ways that your nervous system has been running the show, and it supports you in getting started on dismantling some of that. Okay. So, victoriascoach.com/AW ADHD quiz. is. Link is also in the description, as always. Right, so here it is, amigas. The boundary is not a communication skill. It's a regulation skill wearing a communication costume. You cannot hold a boundary from a dysregulated state. Period. It's not possible. Because holding a boundary means tolerating the moment in which someone is disappointed in you and not having your body treat that disappointment like a threat to your survival. The skill is not saying the sentence, is not saying the sentence. The skill is staying in your body while someone is upset with you and not abandoning yourself to make their discomfort stop. That's the whole game. So the boundary is not step one. Regulation is step one. Practically, that looks like noticing the activation before the act, the racing heart, the over apologizing, the autopilot yes that's leaving your mouth before your brain even clocks it. You feel me? You can learn to feel the fawn response start and then choose not to obey it on reflex. You're not trying to be calm. Calm is not the goal. You are building capacity to feel that activation and stay anyway, harkening back to that good old window of tolerance theory that we've talked about. So there is one final layer, which is actually the first layer, but self-trust. Again, harkening back to our earlier sessions. To hold a boundary, some part of you has to believe two things. One, that you will be okay even if this person is upset. Two, that your own needs are valid enough to act on. A lot of ADHD women have a shredded relationship with both of those things because we got told on repeat that our discernment of reality was wrong or distorted. You're overreacting. It's not a big deal. You're too sensitive. Are you sure that even happened? I don't think it happened that way. Yeah. When you spend a childhood being told your perception is faulty, you simply stop trusting your own signal. Whoops. Repression at its finest, baby. So now when your body says, this doesn't feel right, and instead of acting on it, you launch an internal investigation into whether you are allowed to feel that it doesn't even feel right. No. We get to rebuild self-trust the boring way. Small kept promises to yourself. Noticing the times your read on a situation was actually spot on. Keeping receipts of your own accuracy. Every time you keep a tiny promise to yourself, you send your nervous system a message. I got me. We are safe with me. That's the type of soil a boundary can truly grow within. So, one final thing, you don't measure a boundary by how the other person reacts or responds. Someone can be completely furious that you set a boundary and you consistently set it. Their reaction is not your scoreboard. It was never the scoreboard, really. You measure two things. Did you notice the fawn response when it showed up? And are you being consistent with yourself over time in keeping it? That's it. Noticing and consistency, always. Not their approval, not a peaceful outcome, not whether they finally understand me. You are the only person inside your nervous system. So you are the only one who gets to grade. So the assignment for this week is you're not setting a single boundary. You are simply noticing, when does the fawn show up? Or fight, flight, freeze. What does it feel like in your body the second before the yes slips out of your mouth? That's it. Notice it, no fixing it. Next week, we're going to get into what you actually do with all this. You're not too much. Your system has been working overtime to keep you safe. And it's now allowed to clock out. Okay, so check you next week, homies. Ciao for now.